Reading time. I hope everyone is doing well. I am feeling a little bit under the weather. These past couple nights have been rough. Hope it's not the flu, but anyway, hope everyone else is doing better. 'Tis the season of the flu, I guess. Alright. Let's see what this collective has going on right now. Let's get a base energy and then see what we're needing to focus on right now. What is surrounding this collective right now? One more, okay. Alright. I've got a new camera angle here, so I'm just making sure I'm in the frame. Okay. We have one day, someday, somewhere, another time, abandoned, left out, walked away, and cold, and peace, balance, harmony, friendship. Not bad, but abandoned is not great. Let's get another one for one day. What are we hoping for one day? Okay. Alright. So under one day we got heart fog. Mixed signals, blocked emotions, messed up. I'm kind of feeling this as... I'm just hearing in my head, like, when is this going to be over? Like, that kind of vibe from one day, especially with heart fog coming up underneath it. Oh my god. Underneath it. Or over it. Whatever. You know what I meant. It's feeling like when is this going to be over? Like I said, when am I not going to be so confused? When are things going to make sense? Abandoned, let's go in for abandoned. Clinging, okay. Holding on, obsessing, spying. So, first thought is this collective, you were the one who was abandoned, left out, walked away from, which explains why you'd be wondering, when are things going to make sense? Kind of like, when am I going to not get mixed signals? When? But clinging to, because if you're sitting there wondering, when is this going to be over? When are things going to make sense? When, just like, it's like a when, you're holding on to wanting a specific outcome or needing closure or something. It's like you're clinging to wanting answers about why you were abandoned. I almost said why you keep getting abandoned. So maybe this collective, and that would make a lot of sense if you're wondering, like, when is it going to make sense? Because if you've been constantly abandoned by someone in your life, but you keep clinging to them, it's like you're always wondering when it's just gonna, like, if they keep coming back, when is it gonna make sense for them to stay? Peace. Chemistry. Attraction, spark, passion. Okay, so I'm going to be honest, I do feel like this person, when you are with them, I feel like maybe there's a sense of, or maybe I'm feeling it as far as this chemistry, this attraction, spark, passion. I feel it's genuine. It does feel like a genuine chemistry. I hesitate to say, because I started saying that I feel like this person could bring you a sense of peace when you're with them, but there's something, when I say that out loud, it's like, it's a feeling of, yes, there's a sense of peace when you're with this person, but it doesn't take away, like, and I think that's kind of what you cling to a little bit, but it doesn't take away the wondering, the abandoning, the heart fog, the mixed signals, the blocked emotions. It doesn't, that peace, that chemistry that you have, even though it's genuine, and when it's there and it's real. When it's gone, it messes this collective up. But you cling to it, like it's like you don't want to let go of the feeling because you're afraid that if you don't take them back every time they show up, you'll lose it. But that's not seeing yourself. But let's get more before I go on. Let's see, I'm going to go with this deck and I'm going to see more about this one day heart fog. Oh, something flipped in there. Surrender. That's good. That's good. Let's get more first, because I'm seeing that for this to come up under the one day and the heart fog and the why, maybe this collective, you've just hit a point where you are like trying to surrender to that. Like, I mean that in a way, like truly letting yourself believe that this isn't serving you. That no matter how much peace or harmony or friendship or whatever, no matter what you feel when you're with them, if it doesn't stay, then what's the point? Right? So it's almost like I feel like a surrender to that, like that kind of mindset now. Like, if it's not going to stay, then what am I doing? But you still want to know. Yeah, a bit. So, oh shoot. I originally read that as foundation when it first flipped. There's a reason for that. And I was thinking, you're afraid of abandoning a foundation with this person, because I feel like there is an aspect of this collective who you really, or where you really believe you could build a foundation with this person because of the chemistry and the passion between you and the way I keep focusing on this friendship. Like, maybe you guys really are just, when you're together, you just make sense, right? And it's just, but obviously you wouldn't be here watching tarot if there wasn't something you were curious about and wanting to heal. So I feel like this, but anyway, sorry, I got distracted, but it says frustration. And it's got the ever popular square peg, round hole. So that really confirms that feeling with the surrender of that deviation I had of, no matter what the chemistry is when you're together, if it's not there to stay, then what's the point? You're just clinging to a pattern at this point. It's like I feel like this collective, don't make it fit. I feel like to get to this point of surrender, I feel like the last maybe time or two that this person abandoned you, left you hanging, I feel like for the last couple times you've been kind of like, wait a minute, this isn't, like, the math ain't mathing. Like, why square peg round hole? Why am I trying to make this, like, I know the pattern now. It's almost like you, for a little while, you actually relied on the pattern because of that clinging energy and this, like I said, this genuine feeling of a connection. It's like you got so used to expecting it, but you finally got to a point where, like, wait, I recognize that this is going to happen, so why do I keep letting it? Why do I keep trying to, if I know that taking them back the second they come back ends the same way, maybe I'm maybe I'm trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Maybe I'm not going about this the right way. Right? I feel like there's something in this collective where there's been a gradual realization. Let's get one for this peace and chemistry. Oh, there it is. There's our little ghosty friend. It's funny, I've never gotten this card in this deck before, but under the peace and chemistry, you got ghost, because this collective, just confirmation, no matter how good it is when you're together, it doesn't stay. They just end up ghosting you. They just end up abandoning you. And for ghosting to come up specifically, I feel like that's a sign, or a detail for this collective that don't make it fit. If you always leave by arguing and fighting and one of you saying like, get out, get the F out, if it's always, got a lot of emotion in it and it's very volatile, this isn't your reading. If you're the one ghosting, it's probably not your reading. This is confirmation that this collective, you would be the one getting ghosted every time. Sorry, hold on, I'm staring because as I said that, literally, as I said, you're the one getting ghosted, it felt very contradicting. It felt very opposite. That was really weird. Sorry, we'll just see. Before I speak further on my thoughts, we're going to get more clarification. And I actually want to get, because 2 out of your 3 cards were white. I just want to see. Okay. Viewed one way, white may seem like the absence of color, but white light is actually all colors blended together. It can be seen as calming, or, when perceived as absence, nothingness and emptiness. Too much white can seem cold and sterile. White is often associated with peace and is also used to symbolize surrender. In India, white is often worn in funerary services, and in China, it is considered the color of mourning. In addition, the color white is sometimes used to help find clarity in magical workings and spellcraft. Oh, that's actually not what I wanted to read. White cards in a reading. What all of the white cards in this deck have in common is a sense of stillness. If you end up having mostly white cards in a reading, moving towards a sense of calm may be something that you're working on right now or have worked on in the recent past. What do you need to know to find tranquility? Okay, well that actually makes so much sense, especially with this frustration in the middle. This frustration with the way you get abandoned, but you cling to them, and it just doesn't fit anymore. It's not making. I keep hearing the math ain't mathin'. Like make it make sense. It's not making sense to this collective anymore. You're trying. I'm seeing this as not only confirming the ghosting behavior, but how it's on the forefront of your mind now. Like I said, it had the deviation of you're noticing the pattern. So it's like, every time things get good again, this is what's going to happen. Unless you surrender to doing something different. I just want to get some cards about this dynamic. Just to tie you to this reading. So I'm going to pull a couple of these just to get a basic idea of what you guys are like together. What kind of things you guys deal with. That's funny. One of the cards that popped out was tarot cards. Anyway, alright. Let's see. Alright. Ring. Conflicts within a relationship. Listen to others more. Need clarity. Material wealth over relationships. I feel like with the Ring card, maybe, especially since I originally thought this was foundation, it's making me, when I see these rings, I feel like this collective, you really did see a potential of, like I said, a foundation, or even like a bond, a commitment to each other, like whether it be marriage or whatever. Tarot cards. Getting too involved with others. Nosy. Unfulfilled in life choices. Fear of unknown. Feeling disconnected. Worrying about the future. I'm just curious what is on this. What cards are those even real tarot cards, or is this AI? Yeah, there, it's in a different language. Anyway, sorry. Okay. An achiever. Making and checking off lists. Founder of clubs, groups, high school. High goals. Beating records. Making tough decisions. I actually want to read both sides because I don't usually... This deck has double sides, but... Choosing outside gratification, full of themselves, cutthroat, alienates, using achievements to demonstrate worth. No, I definitely, that's energy, does not align with this. It's more this. Connect with spirit guides, inspired action, overcoming fear, positive influence, happy spirituality, finding your purpose, enlightened. I feel like this is more what that end of the card is more, I think, what this collective is currently seeking. Because I'm getting too involved with others. I'm seeing that as more like getting too involved with this person. Getting too involved with, like I'm hearing that since you kind of picked up on the patterns, that maybe you were trying to see ways you could manipulate them, and it just never worked for you. But fear of the unknown, feeling disconnected, worrying about the future, definitely. I think that's more this collective than the person connected to you. But I do feel like with this energy here, like especially with the chemistry and the friendship here, the making and checking off lists, founder of clubs or groups, high goals, beating records, making tough decisions. I feel like this is something that you guys kind of excelled in together, like being achievers, like wanting more. There's or you know, something, wanting better for yourself. Like I feel like there's something about both of you being kind of like having goals for yourself. Again, just a detail to tie you to this reading. I just feel like this is both of you. And then this one on the other side says, commitments, long-term goals, supportive partnerships, savings, someone has feelings for you and love. I don't think that's that. I mean, obviously, I think this person and you love each other. That's not a question here. It's just, are you both at a place where this can be maintained long term? You know what I mean? And I think right now, this collective, you're kind of surrendering to the idea of, no. It's trying to fit a square peg into a round hole right now. It's just causing frustration because no matter what you do, it's not sticking. Like, it's just not. It's not. Let's see quickly. Let's see how this person is. I want to. That was kind of more about your dynamic. Before I get, because I do want to get what you need to work on, what shadows you guys are each working on right now. But I also want to get how you're feeling about each other right now. So let's get first. How this collective is feeling towards the person on your mind. Harmony. That's the second card that says harmony on it. And peace and balance. So, confirmation. This collective, you do see this person as your happiness, as someone who could ultimately... I think you see that your dynamic when things are good, if it were to stick around, it would be magical. It would be happiness. It would be harmony. It would be everything. But there's something that still hasn't been healed. And it wouldn't be just with this person. Let's be honest. It wouldn't be just if you're, especially if you've been clinging, recognizing the patterns, but trying to manipulate them instead of trying to end them. There's something you both need to heal here to really bring that harmony into a stable, grounded place. Come up together. Burned bridges and masked. All right. So this collective, don't make it fit. Confirmation that you're part of the reason why you cling and you don't fully surrender to the when is this going to stop, and like taking that step yourself, is the fear of burning bridges. That's how I feel this. You're scared that if you do speak up and basically say like, no, I can't do this anymore, you're afraid that they're just gonna peace and go and just never talk to you again. And I believe that this collective, this masked energy, hiding, concealing, deception, I think it goes both ways with this collective. I'm going to be honest. Because I feel like you believe that this person is masked. They're hiding. They're concealing. Not so much deception, but like to a degree, obviously, if they're hiding things and they're deceiving you in a way. But it doesn't feel malicious. It doesn't feel like they are hell-bent on like deceiving you and hurting you. It's just their triggers, their masks, their things they need to heal, right? But I feel like you're afraid of the bridges being burned, losing the chemistry you do have. And because I said I feel this kind of both ways, there's something about this collective too where, I mean, if you haven't taken that step yet to kind of end this cycle of patterns of what you know is going to keep happening, then you're still masked too. You know what I mean? You're not speaking up for yourself. You're not seeing yourself. You're not saying what you need. You're just trying to be so understanding of what they're going through. And it's like you have this mindset of if I wait long enough, if I let them do this to me long enough and they see that I won't go anywhere, then maybe that's all they need. Maybe that can fix them. If they just see that no matter what they do to me, I'm not going anywhere. But think about that. No matter what they do to me, I'm not going anywhere. You don't deserve that. That's not seeing your worth. That's not noble or romantic to become a doormat or become someone's emotional or even physical punching bag just because you have understanding. You can understand someone perfectly fine from a distance, choosing yourself. Okay? You can still understand them without having to submit yourself to their behavior, to their actions. You don't have to endure it to understand it. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's where so many people get a little lost, is they see this understanding that they have as unconditional love. Like, I just want them to see that no matter what, I'm going to love them. But that doesn't help them at all. That just shows them that no matter how they act, they can treat you however they want. It's never going to matter. It's never going to matter. You allowing it repeatedly, it's not going to have the effect you think it will or you hope it will. I know that's a hard one. That's a hard one to kind of accept, that you can't do anything to help someone heal, you can't do anything to heal them. You can't do anything to change them or the way they think or the way they feel, or you can't do anything. And it's hard to accept that when you are someone who believes that unconditional love can solve anything. But it's not meant to solve everything. It's just meant to exist. Unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional acceptance of bad behavior. It doesn't mean unconditional lack of love for yourself. You know what I mean? You have to, that unconditional love has to start with you, and understanding that you deserve to, how do I put this? You deserve to know that what you have to offer is valued and appreciated and not just expected of you. And by you continuously believing that unconditional love and acceptance for this person is going to change them, you will never reach that. Sorry, I got a little distracted again. I want to get, that's how you're seeing them. I want to get how they're seeing you right now. I hope everything I just said makes sense. Somehow it will to this collective, but it's just, my head is so like, right now. Shattered, broken, nightmares, failures. So they're not in a good place right now. Makes sense. Smell the roses. Slow down, take some time, get out in nature. One more for how they're seeing laughter. Okay, that's good. So, although I do feel like this is confirming that this collective, whoever is on your mind right now, I feel like you wouldn't be in contact right now. You wouldn't be together right now in this moment. Of course, why would you be looking at readings if you were, right? Because you'd be in that peace and chemistry. But right now, because when I see this smell of roses for their perspective, and I hate to say this for this collective because I feel like this person on your mind, while you recognize their patterns and, you may have some understanding of why they do what they do, I don't think they do yet. I'm going to be honest. Because for these to come out, smell the roses, slow down, take some you time, get out in nature. I feel like they're just really, while they're shattered, clearly, it's like they just keep telling themselves, I have to, I'm trying to word this correctly. Because it's almost coming from like a selfish place, but not a consciously selfish place. It's like they feel like they have to, like, things are getting too crazy with things are getting too hot and heavy with them. I gotta go slow down. I gotta take some me time. I gotta get out of here because this is getting to be too much. It's like that vibe. But again, it's just like their pattern. It's their pattern. They feel like when things get too good, I guess, they run. But it does hurt them. It hurts them because when this came out, the laughter, the happiness, the joy, the healing, I do feel like a genuine connection between you two. I feel like there is a happiness, a peacefulness, a spark, a chemistry, passion. There's joy. There is all of those things when you're together, but this person can't stop feeling like they're scared to be tied down. I'm gonna be honest, it's almost that feeling of like, being scared to be caged, being scared to be with one person forever. And I'm not saying this person is like a player or anything like that. There's no really indication of that here. But it's like subconsciously, I feel like they wonder, like, is this it? Is this it? So maybe you guys have been the only ones with each other, or maybe for a long time you've been, but there's just something about them. It has nothing to do with how they feel about you. That's how I feel anyway. But there's just something in them I mean, it's obviously a trigger. It's something they have to heal because they run from it every time. Um, but I think while it's to have these together, it's like they're reminiscing over. They think about the happiness and the laughter with you, and it shatters them. But they still, it's like they still tell themselves it's too much or something. And I'm focused on this nightmare and failures. I feel like there's something about this person on your mind who feels like they just keep, it's like part of them knows they just keep failing at this. It's like, I don't know, I keep getting quiet, sorry. Thinking, and my brain is like in slow motion today. Let's get a couple of shadow cards just to see what you guys are working on, and then we'll see universe's perspective on this and advice. Alright, so the way I have this allocated is the Path of Shadows card is the connected energy, and this deck is collective. This collective, okay. So let's see who's working on what. Something is shuffling or falling down here. Okay. Got two each, but I know I saw something flip in here, so give me 1 second. There it is, okay. Just make sure I'm not missing anything else that flipped. I thought I saw something, but maybe not. Okay. Alright. So we've got 3 for them and 2 for you. I feel like that makes a little bit more sense. If you're at a point of surrender and really seeing things, you would be a little bit further along. And it's not a contest or anything, but I think this collective, you're just a little bit ahead with kind of seeing the bigger picture, right? Okay, so for this collective, you got letting go of the old you. You are not who you were. Honor your past, but don't cling to it. Oh my God, literally says do not cling to it. And you have this clinging card here. With the frustration and the abandon, you're tired of being abandoned, but you cling to this person because of the chemistry, right? Don't like honor what you guys had. Of course, it's I feel like people sometimes they get it in their head, and I understand, because I've been there, so this is why I bring it up. We get into our heads that the love that we feel for someone is not real just because it's not meant to stay. And that's where it gets so hard for people to let it go, because you really believe that if I love this person this much, I must be meant to have them. Like, it doesn't make sense any other way, right? But even if it doesn't work out with a person that you're not meant to be with, it doesn't change the way you love each other. It doesn't change the way you love them. It doesn't change any of that. All of that just grew you, right? It was meant to be part of your story, to grow you, to make you see things differently, or hopefully to grow you. That's what those relationships are meant to do. They're not meant to punish. I feel like that's a lot of people turn to in those moments. They just wonder, why am I being punished? Why am I allowed to love this person so much and they constantly hurt me, or whatever the dynamic is? It's like you really cling to this idea of, I'm being punished. I just don't deserve good things. When really it's just seeing how you can turn that pain, that all of that, into a lesson, into growing you, so that you don't end up in the same position again. Because you will. end up in the same position if you just get stuck in that victim mindset of I just don't deserve good things. And so you just start latching on, clinging to anything that looks good because it's just something, right? And you believe you deserve nothing, so you just rather have something. So you just start clinging to like whatever happy feelings come across your way. And there's something about this energy. It's okay to have loved someone and say that you love them, but it's also okay to say they weren't meant, they were a good person, but they weren't my person. It doesn't change that you love them. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make the love that you had for them wrong. It doesn't make it not real. It's just something that's meant to teach you that you can love and things can still not work out. And that's something we have to, unfortunately, accept in life. Some things are just not meant to stay. They're meant to be catalysts for our growth in ways that we need it in that moment. Unexpressed grief. Suppressed sorrow manifests in unexpected ways. Allow yourself to mourn fully. Okay, so I think that's funny that for this to come out after the deviation I just had. It's okay to be sad about something ending too, because you love them, right? It's okay to be sad about it. You don't have to be angry about it. You don't have to, like that, get into that mindset of I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that. Why have they done you? It is okay to feel sad that you have to end something for your own good. It's okay to be sad about it. It's okay to grieve it. It's okay to mourn it. It's okay to take the time you need to sit with those feelings, to process them, to understand them from a higher perspective, that you're grieving something that you thought existed. You're not actually grieving something real, right? Because usually even we're grieving the idea we had of someone and what we could be. We're not usually grieving the BS that they put us through, right? Because you're not like sad about not being treated like dirt anymore, or being abandoned all the time, or being ignored, or whatever, it is that is your pattern or your person's pattern. You're definitely not mourning that, right? You don't want that back, but you're mourning what you have when things are okay. And if that's not something that stays, then I think this collective, you are at a point where it's like, well, then I can't either. If this isn't going to stay, then I can't either. Okay, there's shadows. Avoidance. Clearly. In the dance of shadows, I conceal and evade. Fear's veil keeps me distant in the dark, cool shade. So just confirmation that this person on your mind is a runner. They avoid, they ghost, they abandon, right? Key. Sharp insight, opportunities, hidden potential. And mummy. Between the ancient past and the modern world, is there any place where I belong? So this person, I feel like I'm feeling this energy as, and it doesn't surprise me because I feel like this collective, you'd be feeling a little bit of this too. It's like, if I'm not with them, where am I? You know what I mean? Like, it's if I'm not with them, what do I do? If I'm not in this pattern anymore, if I can't continue this, where do I go? What do I do? It's like, if you stop them from coming back, if you cut them off literally and say, I can't do this anymore, or maybe you just did. Because for this to come out under what they're battling right now, I feel like this collective, you maybe either just did kind of put up a boundary, or this is your sign to. Or maybe they're afraid you're about to this time. Because I really, this energy it's that feeling of, well, if I can't do this anymore, what do I do? Like, if I can't keep coming back to them, what do I do? The only thing they can do is look inward at that point. If they can't keep coming back to you and keeping that pattern going, and that comfortability they have knowing you're always there no matter what do? They have to, there's only one way to look then. I mean, no, there's not. They can hop to other people, like, like I had the deviation of just jumping wherever there's happiness. They could do that. But with this key here, sharp insight, opportunities, hidden potential, I like that the key is showing up under their shadows, because it's making me feel, especially with it coming in between these two energies, I feel like there's some sort of door being unlocked, so to speak. With both of these energies combined, it's like they're having so many thoughts now, so much reflection on their avoidance. And, if I don't have this trait to fall back on, where do I go from here? And maybe they're kind of having that insight of, like, this is the time to unlock my own potential, my own hidden potential. What can I do? Because my honest opinion on this energy is, if this person on your mind, if this has been something you guys have gone through for a long time, over and over again, and you are finally, like, surrendering and saying to, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I know what's going to happen every time I keep doing it. I can't do it anymore. If you really get to that point, I feel like that is a key in itself for this person. Not right away, because it's not like healing doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you just go, oh my God, duh, this all makes sense. Let me just change it all right now. It takes time. It takes dedicated effort. It takes, especially if you have a lot to heal, and you've never even started, it could take years. Okay, I don't want to discourage this collective, but depending on the kind of healing they've already done, or if you guys have been in this cycle for a long time and nobody's ever done anything different, it's going to take a long time to heal that. You're going to have to give them time. But like I said, with this key here in between this energy, it makes me feel like there's something that by you standing your ground finally, and maybe even saying, like, listen, I love you. That's not a question here. Like, confirm that. But this can't keep happening. It's just putting a boundary. Like, has nothing to do with not feeling for you, but I know this isn't gonna take me where I want to be. It's not gonna take you where you want to be. We're gonna be stuck. One of us has to get off this roller coaster, right? One of us has to get off this carousel. And I feel like it's this collective that is starting to. Okay, let's just get quickly, because I feel like this is probably going on long enough. Let's get some universal opinion on this dynamic. Universal insight. How the universe is viewing it, or what they want you to focus on. Okay, we had a few flipping here. Belief systems. Okay. All right. Interesting. Ew, look at that. Look at that. That is so funny. There's that foundation I was feeling with this card. When I saw that word foundation in my head, there it is. Excuse me. The world. New cycle. Karmic completion. Travel. Fulfillment. Success after the quest. Success. That's your first card for the universal perspective. I'm blown away right now. So that's confirmation. That's a big confirmation on my feeling of this collective. You must have just done something. You must have literally just surrendered. The frustration finally got too much. And maybe, remember I had that deviation where I was kind of feeling maybe the ghosting might have been the opposite too. Maybe this collective, you finally ghosted them. Because for a karmic completion, new cycle, that's big. You did something different, this collective. Awesome. Sorry, that's awesome. And again, this kind of thing doesn't happen overnight, right? The whole, the fully healing, them coming, like, it's not going to be an overnight thing. Just because you did something different now, they're not going to be a completely different person tomorrow, right? But I feel like this collective, you probably understand that. Even if it's hard for you to understand, I feel like you do. Because you obviously do have a ton of understanding if you have kind of put up with this pattern for so long. But remember the deviation I had about understanding and or being understanding and unconditional love. Remember that deviation, okay? Watch from the beginning if you haven't, because that's important. Family and foundation. Commitment, home, marriage, celebration, security. Keys on a ring, one night stand, many options, decisions, unconventional, string along, belief systems. And you have another key here too. I know this says key on a ring, one night stand, but I feel like I keep focusing on that key. Belief systems, facade, conditioning, expectations, conformity, evaluating long-held beliefs, awakening, and renewal, spark, new life, fresh starts, rejuvenation, healing after crisis, sacral chakra. Okay, so with these two cards at the beginning and end of this row of universal perspective, advice, everything, you are clearly having a new cycle. New life, fresh starts, rejuvenation, healing after crisis, sacral chakra. So for the universe to see this as what's going on, like literally right now, worlding something, a new cycle, a karmic completion, awesome. The end result, this is how I'm reading this, is this new life, this fresh start, rejuvenation, healing after a crisis. Beautiful. Whether it's with this person or not, I can't say. Because honestly, you didn't get anything about soulmate, twin flame, like any kind of anything like that with this reading. We got the feelings toward each other, how we see it, but I have a feeling there might be something in this collective. I'm gonna be so honest, and I know this is probably not what you want to hear after this reading and the way it's gone, or maybe it is what you want to hear. But I am getting the distinct feeling that this person you just ended a karmic cycle with actually was more of a karmic connection. And the reason why I say that is because then you have this family foundation, but you also have this key on a ring one night stand. Very contradicting energies, right? As far as a commitment and a companion. But then this belief system and facade, conditioning, expectations, conformity. The energy I'm getting from these three cards is this collective, you, like I had the deviation, you once really did see this person as your foundation, right? Someone you could start a family with, someone you could have something lasting with because of the chemistry and the peace you thought that they brought you when you were together. But I also had that deviation of sometimes people are good people but not good for us, or also good for us but not meant for us, right? Which are hard lessons to go through, to accept, to win, to learn. To have to let go of someone that you have such strong feelings for, it doesn't feel right? It feels so contradictory. It feels like it goes against everything you believe to let someone go who you feel like you have such a connection with. But if it's not getting anywhere, what's the point, right? If it doesn't stick, if it doesn't stay, there's a reason. All right. So again, getting back to this, I feel like there's an energy of this collective maybe, and this is, okay, Sorry, I'm struggling to get it out because it just seems so weird to say. Like, it's not something I would ever say myself to someone, but the cards are here and the energy's here. I feel like there's something, either this person started as a one night stand and got kind of out of control, right? A little too serious from this collective's end. But I'm also seeing this as many options, decisions, unconventional. I'm not so much this one night stand energy, but there's something about, especially with belief systems and conditioning, conformity, awakening, there's something here where I feel like the person that is meant to be this family, this foundation, is something that's a little more unconventional. When I keep focusing on this many options and seeing it as, don't pigeonhole yourself into a type, be open to many options, and the unconventional, because maybe there's a connection in your life that you don't feel, like, for example, if you have confusing feelings for someone of the same gender, but that's always been a no, that can't happen for you, right? Like, no, I'm not, that's not me. Like, I'm not going to be with someone of the same gender. I'm not gay or whatever, the case is. But there's something here, clearly, with your belief systems being a facade, that what you believe can't possibly be is meant to be. Is meant to be that new start, that new, and it doesn't have to be, like, the sexuality thing was just an example. It doesn't have to be, it could be an age difference. It could be social status difference. It could be living in different countries. There's just something, excuse me, about it being unconventional that's standing out to me, that it's not just someone you met out while you were partying or at a club or shopping, or it would be something very, like, you wouldn't expect it to produce a foundation or commitment, but it is. So clearly this collective, if I were you, I would be, unless there's already something that's popping into your mind, it could be like pennies dropping, like a person could have popped into your mind when I mentioned that kind of deviation, and maybe that's where your focus, not focus is meant to be, not focused on them, but maybe just looking internally at your, because that would obviously be something that this collective needs to heal if you've never considered it before because of unconventional reasons and being held back by your culture or whatever it is, whatever the situation is. If that's not something you ever let yourself consider before because you've been clinging to this dynamic and the peace and chemistry you felt like you had with them, even though it never stuck around, I just feel like there's an urge to, especially with it being right smack in the middle, maybe this collective, you just need to reevaluate your belief systems on what a foundation, a family, a commitment could be. That it isn't just this feeling. No matter how good it is when it's there, it has to be more than this. If it's going to stay, if it's going to last, if it's going to make sense, right? It can't have this energy. It's never going to last. It's never going to stay. You're dating a ghost, literally. And it's so funny that I think maybe the reason why I had the deviation about sexuality is because on this family foundation card is actually two women with a child, which I think is awesome. Love that. So, and that could be a sign for this collective that it is a sexuality thing, which is fine. If I've been there too, so I get it. It can be very confronting, confusing, and it can make you feel like you're betraying yourself in a way. Sorry, got a little emotional there. When you kind of realize your entire life you've been living a lie for the comfort of everybody else, but not even seeing that you're doing that, you just thought you were being what you were supposed to be. That's a hard thing to reconcile in yourself and wonder how it happened, I guess. How you didn't see it, or why you betrayed yourself for so long. And anyway, that was a weird deviation. I'm sorry. I feel like it's probably important for this collective, though. If it is something that just really goes against what you thought you believed as a person, who you thought you were as a person, that's really hard. And if you are kind of going through that right now, this is your urge to be open to it, then I hope you find the strength to do that. Because it is hard. And it's hard, especially if you feel like you have to leave behind something that you spent so long trying to fix or trying to make work. It's because you also have to deal with that. Why did I stay stuck so long? Why did I put so much effort? It's a lot of self-blame. It's a lot of being hard on you. It's a lot of beating yourself up. I get it. I kind of feel like that's where this collective is at right now, to be honest. I want to get, just because of that overwhelming feeling that I just had, literally tearing up thinking about the feeling of it all, I want to get just two inspirational cards from the universe, because you need strength. Make noise. Hell yeah, make noise. Let everybody know what you're all about. Even if it's not something they ever expected of you, even if it's not what you ever expected of you, make some noise. Make some noise for yourself. Be loud. Be proud. I know it's easier said than done. I know. Perfect. I know it's easier said than done, but you are stronger than you feel. You are. Because it feels like such an impossible thing to deal with when there's something that deeply rooted that we have to come to terms with, and yeah. It's hard. I know. So, this collective, you are stronger than you feel. And find the strength to make some noise about yourself. Because you deserve to be heard. You deserve to be seen and heard for the person that you really are. But it starts with you. This isn't a reading for you to go out and start something with this person right away. This is a call for this collective to like it's not an action reading. It's not jump on if that all fit and a person came to your mind and you were like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like this isn't a reading to be like jump on that. This is a reading to see what you just realized and sit with it for a while. Be still. The white card feeling, be still with it. Let a new cycle start. But there's things that you have to see through in yourself first. And make some noise about it. Like, I feel like if this would be so contradictory to this collective, for some reason, I feel like you wouldn't be the type that would want to make noise about yourself, but there's something here where you need to be heard. Be heard. You need to be heard. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys have a great day, and I love you guys. Have a good one. Bye!